Well, welcome and thank you for joining me today here at Soli Deo Gloria. And I wanted to take a moment and just chat and share with you a little bit about what's going on in my reading life and in some of my thinking. Nothing formal, something just to kind of share some own thoughts that go through my head. I hope that they will be encouraging to you. As a reader, I find it necessary to share with you what have I been reading. And of course, if you've been following me, you know that I've been going through the book of Isaiah. I've been working through very slowly. As you can see here, I'm just barely on chapter 2 of Isaiah. And I've just been using that as my personal devotional time. I enjoy using the ESV scripture journals because I can record a lot of notes on the text itself and then record a huge list of thoughts in the opposite blank page. And so I've been trying to go through that slowly. Usually I open that, I read the scriptures, and then I pick one commentary. And I've just been using that commentary, the one that I consider to be the best, in order to go through the book of Isaiah and learn more. Some other reading includes various things. One of those being Knowing Christ. I recently finished Gentle and Lowly, a new publication that I really enjoyed. It was a devotional about who Christ is and how he can be real in our life. And so it prompted me to pick up this book. It's been a long time since I've read it, and I thought, I really want to take a moment to just go back through and read it again, to learn more about who Christ is, and establish once again who he should be in my life. This is, in one sense, a follow-up to J.I. Packer's Knowing God. In fact, the foreword was written by J.I. Packer, but it comes from somebody who knew by the name of Mark Jones. I remember liking the book, but I can't really tell you a whole lot about it because it's been so long. The last book that's going to probably take me a while is David Mccullough's The Greater Journey. I enjoy David Mccullough as an author, and usually if he publishes something, I want to read it. This book had never really crossed my mind. I only picked it up because I was at a book sale and it was 50 cents. It's been an interesting book so far, kind of following the lives of several individuals as they made the journey across the Atlantic and settled in Paris for a time, whether primarily to learn more, to become more cultured. And so he follows that. I'm only a few chapters in, but it's been a different read than a majority of books that I read or majority biographies. And I've kind of enjoyed it so far. And so that's what I'm reading. That's what the reading life looks like for me in my own home right now. As I've been thinking about reading, I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and we were talking about education. She's a teacher here where we live, and she was talking about her struggles with the students. And out of that conversation came the discussion about my own mindset is that really that the family unit is a basic unit of society. That's how God established us. And if you break down that family unit, you've just broken down society. And I think that's what we see, not just in the U.S., not just here where we live, but worldwide. That we've really lost our definition of what a true biblical family is. And the result is we're losing our definition of a lot of things. And that's where a lot of these cultural wars are coming in. But we were talking about that related to education and to her as a teacher. And she was sharing some of her struggles. A lot of it with discipline, the lack of ability to focus, and the unwillingness really to just do the work. All of those can be traced back to the family. It's not the teachers who really teach discipline in the lives of kids. It begins in the home. And that's where our conversation went. That the kids are not getting it in the home. And so I began to think through this. That we look at our education problems. A platform of mine since a very young age. I've desired to see us do education well. Because truthfully we're not. And out of that came the thought, well, why aren't we doing it well? What could fix it? Since I've been a teenager, I've seen presidents come and go who have offered different programs and different laws, different solutions. And none of that has worked. Why? And I think it's because we're not diagnosing the true issue. And the issue is parental involvement. So what do? I say we need to get our our parents involved in education, involved in the education of our children, so that they're receiving it at home. And I recognize in one sense this is a gospel issue, that it's a hard issue that will not be changed until people begin to accept the gospel. And so really, until you get there, a lot of these other things are going to be very difficult. But I do think that we could use our reading to some degree to help that. How do you get your parents involved in education? By getting the parents to read with their children. And that's going to take some initiative on the part of teachers, initiative on the parts of communities and leaders. It's going to take some innovation, meaning that we come up with some creative ways to get parents involved in that reading. But I think it would put us on a better path. That if you can get parents and children reading together, that it will help them become more involved in the lives of their children. I don't think this is a one-all solution. I'm not saying that at all. What I am trying to say is that the education problems we have are a gospel issue. They're an issue related to family. So what are some things that we can do to help that? And I think reading is one of those ways. Of course, as a reader, I think reading is the solution for a lot of things. But those are where my thoughts have been recently. I hope it's something that you think about. And if you're a reader, and even if you're not a reader, as a parent, I hope that you consider how can you do that? How can you read with your children and get involved in their lives so that they may do well, both in education, but in life. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate your time and hope you have a great day.